What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from, well, the Jeremy Hambly channel. It's my personal channel. It's a little spicier, and it's where I want to cover maybe some more hard news stuff, or I'm kind of less interested in entertainment stuff, but more interested in, maybe the bigger stories. And of course, it can be a little uncensored here too. But Lance Twiggs, the trans boyfriend of the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk, had been on the run. Well, we have finally heard, at least from the local sheriff, where he's been found. So that'll be interesting. As well as the volcanic family argument that turned the straight-A talented musician Lance Twiggs into a trans furry consumed by drugs and video games. Must have been some heck of a argument. Heading into this weekend, it's Friday, working hard to bring you guys extra videos off Maine. One thing I'm hoping I can really call on you is to join our members area. Just go to thequartering.com/join. It's a chat room. You can talk to me directly. It's a community. There's a million videos on YouTube on how to use Discord. It's very easy to learn. And you get news there first. And most importantly, it supports the channel in a big way. It's a few bucks, but it adds up. Think about a couple hundred people maybe join. That would be, help a ton. But if you appreciate the reporting, please do join. Reports now indicate that Lance Twiggs vanished after the arrest and may qualify for witness protection, which includes relocation for safety. However, this exact whereabouts remain unconfirmed across sources like the Daily Mail and The Week. Well, a sheriff has commented on it. Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby stated that Lance Twiggs is in a, quote, safe space very far away from St. George. He needs to, quote, lay low for a long time. Per reports from Radar Online and the Hindustan Times, he's cooperating with authorities and has not been charged. What does that tell me? Well, he's probably in witness protection. That's. I mean, I don't know any other way to interpret that. I'm not really sure how else you might interpret that. This is absolutely bonkers. I want to know why, if and why he's receiving, if and why he's receiving federally funded witness protection when he hasn't even been cleared, at least to my satisfaction, from his participation in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I do not believe, and I need to see a lot more evidence to be convinced that this individual has not or was not involved in what happened to Charlie. I believe many people out there believe that he was involved, that he knew about it. I just don't believe that there's a scenario where he didn't know. I don't believe that there's a scenario where, his boyfriend, who was doing this to impress him, to protect him, didn't tell him anything about it. Like, he knew nothing about it, right? He just knew nothing about it. I don't buy it. And so I guess he's been found, but he's apparently in witness protection. Again, also, Candace Owens drawing some heat, saying that Tyler Robinson never stepped foot on UVU campus and that his parents never turned him in. She also says that the FBI lied about his parents noticing him and more. There's all sorts of really bizarre things coming out of Candace Owens right now. I don't really know if she's just having a laugh and having fun. His father having turned him in after a confession is also complete fiction. To the contrary, Tyler Robinson maintains his innocence and has never been to the UVU campus. There are absolutely zero photos or evidence of the campus carried to produce the contrary. All of that is untrue, verifiably untrue. I have a different video later where I kind of address some of this nonsense that people are doing. I understand conspiracy theories are fun. Sometimes they end up being right. But I think what we're seeing here with Charlie Kirk's assassination is something very different, something more sinister, something meant to divide, something meant to obfuscate the truth, something meant to actually help the left. Now, the volcanic family argument that turned straight-A talented musician Lance Twiggs into a trans furry consumed by drugs and video games. Just like the ice shooter, it's the video games. The lover of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin was kicked out of his family home after getting into an explosive fight with his father over religion. A friend of Lance Twiggs, who the transgender boyfriend of accused Charlie Kirk assassin, claimed he became homeless in high school after rejecting Mormonism. Braylon Nielsen, 19, told the New York Post that Twiggs would occasionally live with her family after he was kicked out of his parents' house. I loved Lance. His parents kicked him out of his house. He lived with us. His parents never sat right with my family, she said, claiming they ultimately kicked him out for rejecting Mormonism his junior year of high school. Look, I don't support this. I've had, friends who had very hyper-religious parents that literally disowned their kids when they did not follow the same footsteps into their faith. I strongly condemn this. I'm not sure this is what Jesus would want. I think maybe not everybody's ready for religion at the exact same time. And if you do this kind of thing, all you do is basically ensure that they will never find God or find religion. And in this case, you just turn them into a trans furry who, in my opinion, was closely involved in an assassination of Charlie Kirk. I just don't believe this guy didn't know. I need to see more evidence from Kash Patel. One social media post viewed by the outlet showed that Twiggs played Gershwin's Prelude #1 in a 2020 recital along with his brother, who played Chopin. The kids' music had been peaceful river flowing through our home for many years. I feel so grateful, his mother allegedly wrote in a now deleted Facebook post seen by the Post. However, some of Twiggs' relatives said his relationship with his family deteriorated and became detached when he became detached and radicalized, saying it had nothing to do with the religion. The relative, speaking anonymously, said Twiggs had been struggling with gender identity, substance abuse problems, and was addicted to video games. Now, these are at least two of the three main key factors in also the Dallas ICE shooter. Now, the video games thing, everybody plays video games. I play video games. Like, define what addicted to video games is. I mean, when you're addicted, that means you're not going to work. It's ruining your life. Is that the case with Lance? I don't know. I mean, he clearly could afford rent in his $1,300, $1,400 a month rent. His father wasn't being respectful, and it was problematic. So they kicked him out, Twiggs' relative revealed in an interview with Fox News. He then lived with his grandparents until he was 18 and graduated from high school, so he was never homeless, or maybe very briefly. But the real reason he was acting out is because he was using drugs and alcohol and was addicted to gaming, she added. Twiggs hasn't been charged with any crimes, and authorities said he is cooperating with the investigation. Robinson now faces aggravated charges for obviously everything he did. The relative said that Twiggs moved into a townhouse with other college students before Robinson even lived in the home. The other roommates eventually moved out, leaving Twiggs and Robinson. I guess when you're bored, you just become gay? I don't know. I don't really understand. In a separate interview, an anonymous relative told Fox News that Twiggs developed a hatred for Christians and conservatives. Oh, that's an interesting thing that the mainstream media hasn't talked about. Isn't that a little interesting thing the mainstream media hasn't talked about? He hated us. He was not raised that way, but he, over the years, has become really detached and become radicalized, the relative said. The relative added that Twiggs was always angry, and his behavior got worse over the past few years. They also speculated that Twiggs may have influenced Robinson's politics during their time together. Well, there's no more convincing. Well, I'm not going to make a gross lewd joke here, but, it is my personal channel, which I hope you'll subscribe to. But, if the guy's, you're getting blown by somebody, you might be willing to listen, a little more willing to listen to them. I made the joke anyway, sorry. I think Tyler got a whole lot worse in the year that they were dating. They are big gamers, and obviously they have that group that influences them as well as others, but my gut tells me Twiggs did a lot more of the influencing. Twiggs was dragged into the investigation when Robinson texted him and told him about the crime. Obviously, I believe that Lance Twiggs was deeply involved in the planning and execution of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's what I believe. I'm not being like Candace Owens and stating it as fact or just asking questions. I'm just saying this is what I believe, and I have no evidence to support it. But I just don't buy that Tyler, who is doing this to protect or to avenge Lance, his boyfriend, would not have said anything. We know these things take some amount of planning. We also know young people generally can't keep their mouths shut. That's why several of these other local trans radical groups seem to have prior knowledge of the event. So if these other local groups had prior knowledge of the event, I'm supposed to believe they knew, but Lance's boyfriend didn't know anything about it. They share a bed, but he didn't know anything about it. I don't believe that. I also need to know more about why this guy's in witness protection. I guess I don't know for a fact that he's in witness protection, but I suspect he's in witness protection. That's the only thing that I can say. Like, what else? Why else is he in a safe space? I mean, why wouldn't you just say staying with family or any of these other things? There are some legitimate questions here that aren't exactly crackpot. I would like to see some information from the FBI and Kash Patel describing to me how exactly they cleared Lance so quickly when Lance, let's not forget, had destroyed evidence. He destroyed the Post-it note that said, that he did it or something like that. Now, he took a picture of it, but then he still destroyed it. He destroyed evidence. So what other evidence did he destroy? And how can you say that he's completely innocent when he destroyed evidence? I just don't buy this. And also, he clearly radicalized him. What groups did he introduce him to? What other, there's a lot of things worth investigating around Lance Twiggs. I don't know why he's getting treated the way he is. Very, very odd to me. Make sure you keep it locked in here. Join the Discord, the members area, to get news far quicker than I can generally release it in video form. Thanks for all your support on this new channel, and we'll talk to you again real soon.